So let's apply. Okay. One thing I can do is like I can just simply render that region. That will be much easier for me to control. So on the render tab, I'm rendering. So I'll just stop this, keep, select this region so that I can render this section only. So without wasting this much time, and click on this. So I can render this section only really quickly. It will save a lot of time for me. So I just apply the diffuse map. So you can see instantly the same, it's picking up all the colors and everything from the diffuse map. Then you have this like metal this thing material selected. This is the material shader selected. Then metalness. If you want, if you like, if you have a specific metal map, you can modify this with the metal map. But if you don't have, no need to modify it. Now you can see it has some preset roughness and everything. But we have a roughness map as well. If you go and check, we have a roughness map here. So what I'll do is right click, copy path, roughness map, click on this, file and roughness, select. Then I'll just like show you the what is the difference, what happens here. If you like keep image, so basically if you click on the keep image, it basically saves the screenshot. And now if I render it once again, it will render the new setting and everything once again. So you have something to compare. So I have just applied the roughness, but you can see it became completely matte. Reason, roughness map is a black and white map and the color space is sRGB. So intensity and value of the map is completely changed. So what you have to do is you have to change the color space to raw, then render it one more time and check what happens here. Still the same, nothing happens. Why is it taking so much time? Okay. So basically nothing is changing. Even if you change it to raw, why is it so much time? Okay. One more thing, what you have to do is whenever you have a black and white map and you change it to raw, you have to switch on alpha is luminance to get the actual effects from your map, which is very important. Then click on this region one more time. So now you can see instantly the result is changed. Now you have this thing reflection. Previously it was way too shiny. This time it's generating everything based on your map. Like whatever input you're giving from your map, it's generating that. So here you can see I applied roughness to roughness, specular roughness, color to color. Now select this and go back to your map one more time and check what are or what all maps you have. You have a normal map and then you have ambient occlusion map, right? So ambient occlusion, like while rendering, we use ambient occlusion a lot of times not necessarily all the time, but we can use it, gives you a better result, gives you better depth, basically. So how to use ambient occlusion? So right now you don't have depth in anything. So usually what we do, we multiply ambient occlusion with diffuse. That is something we can do. So I'll like what we do is right. Uh, I hope everything is fine here. Let's see of this. This create node thing. I was searching for this. So I want to multiply ambient occlusion this. So I will search for a multiply under create node. It's like this off. There was a tab. I just switched it off, closed it. So if you search, you can see you have multiply, divide, and all these options. You have AI multiply also. So if you want, you can just click it and it will generate a node. Like same like Unreal, similar thing. It's a node based. One is here, and then suppose you want to apply another node. Click this, file, select your AO. Now you can see, I just tried it. Oh, I forgot to connect it. Utility multiply. I forgot to connect it. Connect this to, and this output connect it to diffuse. Now you can see you have this connected here, and let's keep this also. Keep it and render one more time. I just multiplied ambient occlusion to my diffuse. And rendering is a time-consuming process. It takes a lot of time to render based on depending on the system like speed and everything. I don't know why it's taking so much time. It should render quickly because there's nothing. Why? Why so much time? Finally. So now you can see that depth with ambient occlusion, I just multiplied. Now, this is like I have applied diffuse, I have applied ambient occlusion, I have applied my roughness. Now, I want to apply my displacement map as well. So if I go to my surface shader, I have a displacement node here. Click on your displacement file. It's a very straightforward thing. Displacement, select and select your displacement. You can select EXR, you can select JPEG, you can select any one of them. EXR like it's a raw file. So that is something recommended for displacement. Use a raw file that will give you better result. Or if you want, you can use a displacement JPEG also. Like this kind of thing, it works perfectly. Apply. You applied it and make sure change is to raw Alpha is luminance. Whenever you are using a black and white map for any output, make sure change the setting to color space to raw, and alpha is luminance. Otherwise, it won't create any give you any nice result. So you have applied this. Like you see, you have this node setting here. So let's keep this and render one more time. It will take a little bit time as displacement map generates like mesh. It will take a little bit time, but it won't give you very nice result. You can see it's all distorted. Reason, I haven't switched on my displacement on my model. You have to switch on your displacement on your mesh as well. So what you have to do, select that mesh, go to shape, go to shape under Arnold because we are using Arnold renderer. Scroll down, go to subdivision. There is no subdivision, so it cannot generate any mesh. Cat flag and give it like 4, 5. And displacement attribute by default is like 1. This is something I found like 0.05 works kind of nice for me. You can keep it 1 also, but like it like 0.05 that works perfectly for me. Scalar value you can make it 0.5. Everything is set. Now render one more time. So now you can see you have this thickness slightly, and 0.05 is way too low, I believe, for this. So what I'll do, so let's keep it 1 only. Oh, sorry, one more thing I forgot. Auto bump. I forgot to switch on auto bump. This I reset it to default and I switched on auto bump. Let's render it out and check like how it works. Is it working perfectly fine or not? So based on that, height is basically the intensity of your displacement map. So you can see it's way too much. It's way too much. So reduce it to 0.0 or point, let's see 0.1. Let's work with 0.1. Yeah, it's generating. See, you can see this thickness now. You can see it's generating the thickness. So if I want to render this thing, so let's see. Okay, and I can simply zoom in this one just to check if this works perfectly. Right click, render perspective this time. You can see it generates all the volume like normal just give you the illusion of the of volume. Displacement basically generates the volume. You can see the thickness, the shape, and all the value, everything it generates. You can increase the intensity, you can modify your subdivision level and everything, and generate all these details within your mesh very easily, very easily. So like you have to render it out multiple times to check the exact value with whichever is like suitable for your particular mesh. Like for this, maybe I need to use a point 1 or 0.523 intensity, or maybe I need to increase the subdivision level to 5 or 6. Right now it's 5, maybe 7 or 8 or something to get better result. So like this, you modify everything and generate all mesh and like add all the detail. And one more thing I can do is like if I want to increase the tiling. Right now tiling is very low. So if I want to increase the tiling, what I can do, you can see everything is connected with this UV. Select this, you can see there's a UV repeat. Let's do 3 by 3. Select this one, 3, 6, 3. Everything has to tile, 3, 3. And this also, 3, 3. So everything is tiled. Now render one more time. So now you can see it's like the design will be a bit dense and tiled 3 times. Yeah. Now you can see the output. Hmm. So now you can see all the details nicely. You can see everything is generated in geometry. Everything is part of geometry and it's nicely detailed and gives you very good quality result. So this is something what you achieve with the help of displacement. And if you want, I can show you like one more setting with normal map. Okay, let's hide, 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 and simply duplicate this, and everything has to keep same. So what I have to do is to undo. So what I'll do is I'll go to Hypershade, this metal. So what I'll do is I'll just simply like select this, graph the entire network. You see entire network. Select this, select this entire shader. Control C, Control V. Paste it. It will paste one more network here, and right click, assign to depot selection. So now I have selected the exact same thing. Now this time I'll delete the this thing, what do you call it? Displacement only. And instead of displacement, I'll apply normal map this time. Geometry, bump map, file, bump, and make sure change the bump to tangent space and select the normal map. And one more thing I have to do is tile it to 3-3. Everything is tiled now. So now I have exact same material. This one with displacement, this one without displacement. Let's render it out. And by the time I create the submission folder. So clear difference you can see here. One more thing I have to do is go to my pasted this one. Geometry, and I have to check it's sRGB. So same thing, make sure change it to raw as if you change the normal color space, it will change the color value and it will modify and create all this shading and then render one more time. So now you can see the result without those unwanted shading and all. So everything is almost same. Color wise, color is same, your roughness is same, but you can see detail level wise, your displacement is highly detailed. You have so much of detail, grains and everything, and here you don't have anything. It's all, you can see everything is flat. So this is the main difference in your production pipeline and gaming pipeline, or your like without displacement with displacement. So where you, with displacement you have really high detailed render with everything in geometry, and in your gaming or maybe without displacement you have everything is just an illusion. It's everything is fake. It's not real. It doesn't exist. But here everything you can see shadow and everything also different. It generates differently, creates things nicely. So this is the main this thing. So like this, you can create all these basic shader parameters and network, and can control your displacement and all these things. So there is no poly budget. Like while rendering, there is no poly budget. But while creating your model, like there is a poly budget. Your model cannot be high poly. Yes, mid poly is fine. Like for a character, with like your character, you have a jacket and all those things. For that kind of character, 1.5 lakh tries or around 2 lakh tries is absolutely fine with all the detail and accessories. So which is like that is something like in gaming also acceptable nowadays. So for production, 1 lakh or 2 lakh tries are completely okay with all accessories, clothes, and everything. And but while rendering, you subdivide it multiple times. That is something part of your render, not part of your model and texture creation. So pipeline, you to understand like how this pipeline works. I guess I have a document on that. Um, just give me a second. I guess I have a document on that. Pipeline. Yeah. So this is, you can see 3D production pipeline. So usually what happens, this is how the entire production pipeline works, and this is how each and every stage have specialized artists, specialized technicians. They work for those things. So it's every stage is a separate person. It's not one thing. Everybody like you have to do everything start to end. Like for idea, it's a separate person. For your storyline, for your storyboard, your animatics, your design, concept, all these things are maybe like idea story maybe one person, your storyboard animatics maybe another person, your design maybe another person, or maybe like it can be shared in a team, like team of four or two, 3 person, and they develop this entire thing pre-production. Then in production, you lay out, you design, you do research about the things, and then you start modeling, texturing, then you're see, modeling, then texturing, rigging, skinning, then your basic animation, then your VFX, then lighting and rendering. So each and every step is a separate person, separate stage, and they have specialized artists for that. Like lighting, rendering is a separate stage altogether. So you don't have to worry about how they're going to light it or render, but you need to keep in mind like finally your file is going to transfer to somebody else. So it should be understandable and workable for other person as well. So once you model and texture, keep everything in tight budget. Tight budget as in Like in production, everything there shouldn't be any faceted or angular shape until and unless it's a part of design. Like everything should be smooth, clean. So you have to like create a model with a low poly, but you need to add supporting loops. So when you subdivide your model, it retains the shape. That is something you need to keep in mind. So you have to create a low poly, but you have to think of a subdivision level as well. Create a model with supporting loops and edges where if you subdivide it, it retains the shape, holds the shape. So while rendering, they don't have to modify the model and render it nicely. So, like while rendering, they have to subdivide it multiple times, like two, three, four, five, 10 times. But for modeling and texturing, you don't need that. But you have to keep those things in mind. So this is how it works. Like you have to plan everything, create a model, a texture in mid poly. Mid poly budget 1 lakh 2 lakh is good enough. Like for usually, if you see any model in ArtStation, all the renders they are all are production renders. They are not gaming renders. Most of the things for gaming renders nowadays they are using 1 lakh 2 lakh polys for a character, like in-game AAA titles. So like if you have seen Uncharted and all, the one character is 1.5 lakh 2 lakh polygons. So like it's really high detail. They are using a texture for head, a texture for like texture for upper body, texture for hands separately, texture for eyes separately, eyelashes separately, hair separately, claws, upper body, lower body clothes are separate, boots and accessories are separate. If you have gun or something, that is a separate texture. So they use multiple textures in games as well. The similarly in production, they use multiple textures. Oh, बाप रे. So this is how you create your shaders and textures and all this thing. So like hopefully this is clear. Try this thing out. So this like the process is same for all the material and shader. Only thing is different is your intensity values and what are the maps you are using and what preset you are using for what. That's it. So you can say creating this is quite easy, not very difficult, and you can do it quite easily. So try this thing out, and this will you can see like a difference in render. Like there's a like huge difference. So keep that thing in mind, and based on that, generate everything. Okay. So I'll create the submission folder and everything. There is no submission folder yet. So I'll create that, and I guess like Dhananjay submitted his file. This looks quite nice. Like my only if Dhananjay is here, let's check. He's here. So he submitted. This looks quite nice. You can see all this spider and all these things looks nice. And this line and all. Yes. Like for detail wise, what I suggest is there are like few more details are required. This is nice. This is nice and good. But still there are few more detail we need to add in this. Like subdivide one more time. You can use standard brush, freehand, because you are doing it nicely. So I'll just like push it little bit further and add a little bit more detail, like the kind of renders you see in ArtStation and all. To push it to that level, you need to add like maybe add or minus, add those green lines. Like these usually have this kind of lines. The intensity can be reduced. You can reduce the intensity, but add all these details, because if you're creating a high poly, good quality high poly, try to add a surface detail, everything within your high poly. So this will give you a better result Then one more thing, like overall, what I feel is shape looks pretty nice. Only my only concern is all the muscle and structure are not that defined, not that crisp. So you have to make it bit crispy. Like here you can see these lines are really sharp and crisp. So and hopefully you have used a layer. Yeah, uh, have used a layer. So like for this, your Deltroid and all these things. What else just is? Okay, volume change. Here also some volume change. I don't know why. But anyway, like define the shape. Though this cut is not there in actual human structure, the shape is like not defined. Muscle is missing. Like after adding this, also what you have to do is use a standard brush, switch off to alpha, and sorry, it should be plus, not minus. Add slight volume. And this is I'm doing like because I'm not removing anything. Do it in a lower division, like maybe how many subdivision you have? Five, like maybe in three or four. So when you move it to five or six, it becomes slightly smooth and soft. Then BDS transcend it and make sure all these points are like fine and connect very nicely. Like finishing is very important. So once you have this cut, you have a thickness also. Those volume you have to keep in mind. If there is a muscle, there's a depth, it will bulge out slightly here. There will be slight weight here, slight weight here. And like suppose you feel like okay, I want this looks quite thick. So BCI pinch brush, make it sharp, make them clean. So add slightly bulge plus slightly define the shape. Right now you have all the cuts, but nothing is defined. Because if you Google about like um what's the character? I forgot his name. There's an Indian artist. Harpreet, he's from Bangalore only. I forgot his name. Okay, anyway, let's see. Hulk, that's the Hulk 3D movie. Um, okay. So if you go open any like these kind of things, you can see your all the shapes are very nicely defined. So that slight crispiness is missing. That slight like little crispiness is missing. So you just need to add little bit more crisp, make it a little bit more crispy, and all the shapes a little bit more defined. Otherwise, overall, this effort I can see that your effort and all like looks pretty nice. Mm, Still, like only one thing, like overall, it looks nice, and there are like some gaps. So I don't know it's part of design or no or what. So that is something make sure it's part of design or whatever it is, and define the shape. And just like last time you when you send this thing, these shapes are like bit defined. This time it's all smudged. I don't know what happened here. Um, all these veins and everything. Last time it was like kind of clean, and why there is a volume change. I guess you forgot to switch on when you applied the alpha modify. Forgot to switch on the surface. So if you don't switch on the surface, it basically changes the surface volume as well. It adds details plus adds some volume to it. I guess you forgot to switch on surface. Just cross check that. That's why I can clearly see there is a volume change overall everywhere. And yeah, we're doing it nicely. So what you can do is this control D. I don't want this is for amount of material, and let's add one more. Like whenever you have something like little bit of polishing is required. Like there I can see like little bit of like errors and some issues. Make sure push it inside. Even if there is an error in your model, make sure it's not visible. The finishing is very important. Keep it like nice, clean, and crispy. Like that is the only concern. Like details are this looks nice. This is like I guess you have used from this thing, Mega Scan. The only thing is overall looks nice. Only thing is the crispiness of all the details. That is only I am worried. Okay, you made it very nice. That looks really nice. It looks nice. I thought like you have used the Mega Scan rock. This looks pretty nice. The only thing, focus on the shape, define them nicely, and make the detail little bit more crispy. So, like when you see it from a distance, everything. Like from when you see it from a distance, you can see all the shapes clean and clear. How do you extract the mesh to Maya? Such that each subtool appears as a separate model in Maya